فَصَدُّوا عَنْ سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ. Thus debar others from Allah's way. Thus stop others from coming to Allah's path. إِنَّهُمْ سَاءَ مَا كَانُوا يَعْمَلُونَ. Indeed, all they are doing is bad. How, in medicine when we study a disease, first the definition of disease, then signs and symptoms of disease, then there is pathogenesis of disease, how this disease develops. Now this is the pathogenesis. ذَلِكَ بِأَنَّهُمْ آمَنُوا. In fact, to start with, they did believe. Summa kafaru. Then they turned non-believers. In another ayah, it is amanu summa kafaru, summa amanu summa kafaru. No, like fluctuation. If you see the graph of this electricity, it is alternating current, positive, negative, positive, negative. So the belief of a true believer is, as we read yesterday in Surah Al-Hujurat, ثُمَّ لَمْ يَرْتَابُوا. Then they have no doubt whatsoever. Whereas these hypocrites, they have fluctuating iman. Sometimes the negative value, sometimes the positive value. Sometimes they believe, sometimes they don't. And at the end of the day, they don't. ذَلِكَ بِأَنَّهُمْ آمَنُوا ثُمَّ كَفَرُوا فَطُبِعَ عَلَىٰ قُلُوبِهِمْ. When they are consistently undergoing the waves of disbelief, Allah Almighty seals their heart. Now you cannot become true believers because of your attitude. The way they behave with Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the way they disobey Amir, the way they try to undermine his position. If you read from the Quran, that is what the hypocrites used to do. Najwa against Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, enjoin people to disobey Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, just to pass a comment about Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He makes a demand from the Muslims for Allah's deen, and a munafiq would quietly pass a comment. After all, he is also a man. As I said before, he was no doubt a man, but above that, he was Allah's messenger. And to respect Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, you have to keep on the forefront Muhammad Rasulullah. When this is in your forefront, in your mind, then your attitude will be different. But if his position as Allah's messenger is replaced in your mind as he is also a man, then your attitude will be different. And so, Quran is forever. So is the case when you have to work for Allah's cause in an organization. You have your immediate Amir, then a higher Amir, then a higher Amir. If you treat your Amir as Amir, you won't have any problem. But if it comes to your mind, he is also a human being, why should I listen to him? As I gave the example of father. Your father is a man and you are a man too. But if you keep this in mind, he is a man, would you listen to him? No. You will have to keep in your mind, he is my father. You will ignore many unjust attitudes too from him. Because he is your father. And so is the case of Amir. In an army discipline, it said there is not to reason why, there is but to do and die. And you have to struggle in Allah's cause, you have to fight against Taghut. Taghut is not going to spare you at any spot. Taghut will avail each and every way to turn you down, to let you down. If you are not obedient to your Amir, but your Amir say, you have to listen. Yes. Illa an taraw kufran bawahan innakum fihi min Allahi Qur'an. Until you see a clear kufr being done by him, for which you have proof from Allah, then you can disobey. Otherwise, you have to obey. Just like our Imam in the prayer. Once you say, I pray before this Imam, you have to commit a mistake with him. Even though you remember that, you are supposed to sit after the second rakat before going for the third rakat. But Imam forgot and he just stood up. You have to stand up with him. You have to make this mistake with him because he is your Imam. Said, so is Amir. All the problem of hypocrisy, if you see in the Quran, it will be to undermine the position of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, to disobey him, to insult him, to let the other companions not obey and pay respect to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That is all the hypocrisy. فَهُمْ لَا يَفْقَهُونَ. Thus, they won't understand. وَإِذَا رَأَيْتَهُمْ تُعْجِبُكَ أَجْسَامُهُمْ. And when you look at them, their stages impress you. You know, Abdullah ibn Ubay was a very heavy-stated man. Heavy not in terms of body weight, but having a position in that society. And you know what was his actual problem? The people of Medina, before the arrival of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, had decided to make him their king. The crown had already been prepared, and he was almost to have the crown on his head when Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam appeared to Medina as a king without a crown, and that he could not bear. He had animosity, enmity, hatred for Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam because he took his position. At many occasions, he gave Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam a very tough time. And Umar radiallahu ta'ala asked the Prophet, if you allow me, I must cut his head away from his neck. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said what two people said. When Muhammad was turned away by his own people, he took a refuge with the people of Medina. And when he was strong, he started killing them. So, when you look at them, their stages, their positions impress you. And when they speak, you give ear to their speech. Important people, you got to listen to them. كَأَنَّهُمْ خُشُبٌ مُسَنَّدَةٌ. It's an instruction for Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. In fact, they are just like some pieces of propped up timbers, like trees. When a tree is with its root in the ground, green tree, it's not easy to uproot it. But when it becomes dead and just its trunk has been fixed somewhere in the ground, with a little force you can remove it. So, كَأَنَّهُمْ خُشُبٌ مُسَنَّدَةٌ يَحْسَبُونَ كُلَّ صَيْحَةٍ عَلَيْهِ. They assume every shout to assemble the people to be against them. Whenever there was an announcement that everyone should come to the mosque, Al-Masjid Nabawi, there's an important announcement to be made. They always had the fear, maybe some ayah has been revealed to expose us. Just like if someone has done a corruption in his office, whenever somebody knocks at his door, he always assumes it may be police to arrest him. So, يَحْسَبُونَ كُلَّ صَيْحَةٍ عَلَيْهِمْ هُمُ الْعَدُوُّ فَاحْذَرْهُمْ. They are enemies, thus beware of them. O the Muslims. قَاتَلَهُمُ اللَّهُ أَنَّا يُؤْفَكُونَ. Let Allah fight them, how they are being deluded. Now, whenever you make an offense against someone, you got to apologize from him. And since hypocrisy is an offense against Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, now its remedy is to apologize from him. Now, it's a very beautiful place in the Quran. وَإِذَا قِيلَ لَهُمْ تَعَالَوْا يَسْتَغْفِرْ لَكُمْ رَسُولُ اللَّهِ. When they are asked to come and confess, to let Allah's Messenger pray for their forgiveness, what is their response? لَوَوْ رُوسَهُمْ. They shake their heads. Like this. It means they don't want to come. لَوَوْ رُوسَهُمْ وَرَأَيْتَهُمْ يَسُدُّونَ وَهُمْ مُسْتَكْبِرُونَ. And you find them resisting out of arrogance. Since they don't accept Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam as messenger from the core of their heart, so they hardly feel inclined to come to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam for confession. But Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is kind enough to pray for their forgiveness, even though they don't come to confess. Now see Allah's response. سَوَاءٌ عَلَيْهِمْ أَسْتَغْفَرْتَ لَهُمْ أَمْ لَمْ تَسْتَغْفِرْ لَهُمْ. It's all the same for them, whether you pray for their forgiveness or you don't. لَنْ يَغْفِرَ اللَّهُ لَهُمْ. Allah will never forgive. Because the precondition is not being fulfilled. Even Allah's messenger's prayer will be rejected in their favor, because they don't fulfill the precondition. لَنْ يَغْفِرَ اللَّهُ لَهُمْ. Allah will never forgive them. إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يَهْدِي الْقَوْمَ الْفَاسِقِينَ. Indeed, Allah will not show the transgressors any way out. Indeed, Allah will not show the transgressors any way out. هُمُ الَّذِينَ يَقُولُونَ لَا تُنْفِقُوا عَلَى مَنْ عِنْدَ رَسُولِ اللَّهِ حَتَّى يَنْفَضُّوا. These two ayat are concerning Allah's messengers journey back to Medina after the advent of Ghazwa Bani Mustaliq. Abdullah ibn Ubay was also in that Ghazwa, and he did many atrocious things during that.